Podcast Twins, we are back again.
Podcast Twins. That's Vince. I'm Drew. Let's do it.
Hey, listen. I don't know about you guys, but we've already discussed many times how we can't stand watching the NBA anymore.
Oh boy.
But we got a situation going down here in South Florida where you have one multimillionaire player that is now in full argument and fight against the ownership. This ain't even a sports issue. This is just a ego type issue that we're dealing with right here. We got Jimmy Butler that refuses to cooperate and has been suspended. Now this is his third time, which is an indefinite suspension for conduct unbecoming to the team. And you got Pat Riley, who's one of the most respected general managers in the game of basketball, known for not bending and not breaking. So Jimmy's trying to muscle his way into a trade situation, and Pat is saying, it's my call how I do it. So in the meanwhile, you go ahead and go home, sit down. We're not going to pay you because under suspension, you don't get paid. So what's going on in these in the minds of our people out here now? You know, look, are you here to play basketball? You're making a goo gob of money. It's not even a money issue with you. What could go so bad that would cause you to just really poison your team to the point where they don't want to play with you, the ownership don't want you to play with them, and then you're going to try to muscle your way into a trade?
Well, first of all, you're right on the first thing that you said, which is the NBA is completely unwatchable. Watching guys chuck up threes and miss is boring.
Yeah,
I might as well watch soccer. Sorry, soccer, you get under the bus too. But when it comes to Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley's had this reputation for a lot longer than a week.
Mm-hmm.
So he got what he got, and he shouldn't be surprised. He may be upset, but if you challenge Pat Riley, the guy who, I mean, as far as basketball knowledge, he probably up in the top, right?
Absolutely.
He may be the GOAT.
Absolutely.
You know, he may be the GOAT as far as basketball knowledge. He played the sport.
Yeah.
He coached the sport.
Player.
He was a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
He was an all-star player.
Yeah.
And now he's running the whole shebang bang.
Hall of Fame GM.
I'm not screwed. If I'm in basketball, I don't care how much I think I know. So I can tell you what's going through Jimmy Butler's head.
Tell me.
Nothing. He's feeling too emotional to be thinking properly.
I thoroughly agree. I mean, because when he came down here, he was preaching the Heat culture. This is what he wanted. This is what he loved. You know, he loved the discipline that it took. You know, because Pat is known for, if you can't pass his personal physical out there on the court, you can't play.
Get out.
So he loved that culture. He loved what they brought to the table. He loved that it was a team culture. Not necessarily a superstar culture anymore, but a team culture that Pat Riley has built. That's why he came here. And they rewarded him with a very handsome contract. And to the point where I believe that every game that he's missing now, it's something ridiculous to like $250,000 a game or something like that he's missing. If I said the person that's pissed off at him the most is his financial planner. He's like, Jimmy, look, baby, go back, make up, kiss his ass, do whatever you got to do. We're missing money here.
You don't kiss his ass. You kiss one of his rings. One
Absolutely.
of his many rings. Right, like pick a ring and kiss that
man.
one. Yeah.
But now, here we are. Jimmy's, I believe, 34 years old. Still a viable person, but he has a huge contract. He's looking for max money. What team out there, and again, you and I both are not paying that deep attention.
Kirsten might know better than us. Or my son. We could ask my son.
But it doesn't matter. My point is that you've developed a history of these nagging injuries. You've developed a history of not playing every game, not fighting through injuries, and you have a big contract, and you're acting like a spoiled brat at 34 years old. I would say it would take a specialized program that's like, man, listen, we are one player away from winning this thing this year in order for them to bow down enough to take him on the squad.
I got to tell you, I'm actually glad that the NBA and the NFL's fixed and all these, and you know, like soccer I've never gotten into or watched. I feel like I got a lot more free time than when I was addicted to watching football all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I feel like I do so much more on weekends from a productivity standpoint, from a playing with my kids more outside. I actually am thankful that the NFL and the NBA ruined their leagues by putting skirts on quarterbacks and fixing the NFL and making the NBA like a three-point contest every game. That they're not even good at shooting threes. So I'm actually thankful. I'm going to look at the silver lining, which is I'm outside a lot more.
Okay. I have not yet decided to go to rehab yet.
Well, I'm not saying I don't watch it ever. I'm not saying I don't watch it ever.
But I tell you what, over the last 2 seasons, I would actually say even since the COVID year, 2020, 21, I have watched less.
Of both sports?
Of definitely basketball.
Okay.
Definitely basketball because again, I'm an old school NBA East guy. I grew up in the Jordan era, the Pistons. You know, I like it when they bang.
You're a Chicago guy, of course you grew.
With the Knicks. You know, those rivals where it was going to be physical within the game, physical within the game, not physical because I don't like your braids and we gonna, sit there. You don't like my fingernail polish and we gonna argue about it on the court like these children the way they fight out there now on the NBA courts. But it was physical within the game. So I really struggle watching the game the way it is right now. It's almost cartoonish. So for me, I don't really miss watching it. I maybe.
I missed the Pistons against the Celtics and the Lakers back when we were kids. I missed.
But again, that's because the game was physical within the game, within the confines of the game, within the structure of the game. Now it's just run down, penetrate, kick out to that guy. He gets covered. Kick it out to that guy. One of those guys is going to shoot a three
and brick it.
And brick it or not. See, back then it was, and I give you a great stat on that. To kind of mix on that because and I have that one. But the difference was back in the day when 3-pointers, if you were not a percentage wise good shooter, your team didn't allow you to shoot threes. Period. They was like, boom, you couldn't shoot them because I think the average 3-point shots between both teams just 10 years ago was only like 12 or 13 3-pointers a game because everything else was still inside.
That's like 5 minutes now.
So it became to the point where it became acceptable to miss because when you do hit it, we're going to get that extra point. And so I was scrolling through the other day and it talked about.
Are the coaches just not good at math? Like they can't. They don't have somebody to write them an algorithm or something.
The computer program says it's better to score those 3-pointers when you get them at a 30% clip than it is to go underneath and score in the paint.
What does the computer account for with the ratings going down for the games that they watch? Does AI account for that at all?
Not that I heard.
I mean, maybe AI is not as smart as it thinks it is.
What are we thinking back there, Curve? What we got, man?
Nah, it's not it's the 3-point shot. They want you 3-point and paint. That jump mid-range.
Right, it's over. Yeah, the 15-footer is a thing of the past.
Where's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook?
Oh, yeah.
Where's Olajuwon?
It's a thing of the past.
Where's Tim Duncan's perfect fundamentals?
There's no more mid-range game. It's like you said, it's either layup, dunk, or 3-pointer. It's terrible to watch.
I already fell asleep. I'm sorry. What did you say? I fell asleep.
Terrible to watch. But so again, the acceptance of failure is funny because even going back briefly to baseball, because I just rolled across this statistic where they showed what the 2024 American League and National League strikeout leaders had. Okay, which was 225. And the other one had like 219 strikeouts this season. One in the National League, one in the American League. Tony Gwynn struck out 188 times in the 90s. In the 1990s, in the whole decade. These guys struck out 200 plus times this season because back in those days, striking out was not acceptable. But in today's game is, hey, look, it's okay to strike out that much if you hit us 30 home runs. Well, back then, those guys were still hitting 20-something home runs, but they weren't striking out. They had pride in what they did. They took pride in the game in which they played. Nobody wanted to be the strikeout king, man. You were a buster if you struck out like that. So, if you look at what's acceptable, the computer in baseball says hit the doubles and the home runs, we'll take the strikeouts. Versus learning how to bunt, steal, and do the small things, play really good defense. Basketball has become three-pointers or easy dunks. That's it. No more mid-range game. I think the both of them come down to you don't have to be as skilled to play at the highest level anymore. You don't have to be as skilled. You have to be crazy athletic, but you don't have to be as skilled.
I would buy that, but Curfton looks like he disagrees wholeheartedly.
What we thinking back there?
Nah, these players are way more skilled.
You think they're more skilled?
Way more skilled. It's the NBA that changed. Like, defense has changed.
Yeah.
Officiating has changed.
What's defense?
I know.
Yeah. I don't understand
it's
that.
It's a thing of defense is a thing of the past.
I don't know unless you're the Knicks. But
Oh.
But no, defense is a thing of the past. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Bring that back, then the scope of the game will change.
But the problem is that the kids that are learning these games right now are learning the games the way the pros are playing them. So they're growing up not playing defense. They're growing up. You got 7-footers out here practicing the 3-point shot. You know.
Well, but isn't that why the European players can come in and run circles around these guys? Because they teach them fundamentals. Allegedly, I don't know. I've never trained in a basketball school in Europe, but they say that they are teaching that in. You know, they're not teaching that in high school and college, but in Europe they are.
Okay. Well, that's where it came from, is when they started bringing the Euros over here and they started intermingling during the Olympic years. They saw that these big guys could step outside and shoot a mid-range shot. And then a couple of them could shoot the three. And now that they come into this league and Vladdy started all that flopping back in the 80s, and it now is migrated to what it is now.
It's all Vladdy's fault.
So now...
Is it really all Vladdy's fault?
It's Steph's fault.
Well, the threes are Steph's fault.
No, he's saying the flopping.
The flopping.
It was all Vladdy's fault? Like, that was it. No one else did it?
Vladdy Divac brought that into the league because he was the first one to come in. He was a 7-foot, 260-pound dude, and some little point guard would flash by him, and he would go, ah! And the refs were like, didn't know what to do. They're like, I guess that's a foul. I don't know.
Did he sound like Mrs. Doubtfire? Because that sounded like a Mrs. Doubtfire.
And the whale as he laid down on the floor. They didn't know what to do. They just started calling it a foul, even though it was the softest foul in the history of the game at that point. So now the game became less physical. I can't hand check you no more. I can only put one hand on you. But as an offensive guy, I can put an arm bar across your chest and push you back and dribble you all the way back and score a basket because I got to get really close to the basket.
So whoever
and then
told
the moment
them,
I threw it up there, no matter if you touch me or not, they're going to call a foul.
So whoever told these people that run these leagues or whoever their board is that makes the decisions on their rules really got it wrong. Because they told them, look, high scoring is what we need, right? Throw flags on the throw flags against the defense,
right.
Call fouls against the defense in basketball because high scoring is what we want. That's what our consumers want. I don't want that. I want defense.
The game has changed. Well, look at the scores in the 80s, man. A great game was 82 to 88.
Yeah, 82 to 64.
Now you got, everything is 128 to 124. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's absolutely no defense. But that is why I say the skill of the player is diminished. I said they're crazy athletic, but their skill set, because they don't work on those skills anymore. They don't, even from the junior level, from this poor guys in there, they don't work on that mid-range jumper. They don't work on literally playing team defense. That's a thing of the past. And so just like it became acceptable in baseball where we worked on not striking out, choking up on 2 strikes and flicking off and whatever, fouling off bad pitches until you found something you can handle. Now it's swing hard, hit a home run, or strike out. It's all good.
And they did it in football too. And because back when we were kids, the average points in a football game was 37 points. Yeah. Now one team scores that much.
Oh yeah. Well, Dan Marino used to be a gunslinger. Now he looks like he's the most
Yeah, he looks like he's never thrown a ball before. Yeah, of course.
This is ridiculous now.
Yeah.
Everybody's making 50 passes a game.
Right, right.
Basketball, Mitch Richmond used to shoot 3-pointers a game, and he was
The guy. He was the 3-point shooter. Yeah, of course.
He was the guy. And man, he pulled up a 3. See, I grew up with Craig Hodges, in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, Hodges.
And this guy would have 8 shots a game, and 6 of them would be 3-pointers, and they was like, hey, man, that's too much. Even though you're the best. You're the best. You're the best that's ever done it. That's too much. And then you wind up getting this proficiency that came into the games a decade ago with the Splash Brothers. But again, don't give them that much credit without turning around and getting the man who orchestrated and created that offense, which is Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson built that team and created that and gave them the freedoms to shoot that way because he had 2 guys that could shoot their lights out.
So basically all this is Mark Jackson's fault.
I'm going to say that he created the trend
Well,
the very same way that Vladdy created
Vladdy.
the trend of flopping. So, yes, we could call it fault or trends, however you want to look at it. For me, Vladdy is a fault and Mark is a trend. So, that's the way I look at it. I just think that the skill set, again, the average guy, when they do wind up taking that 14, 15-foot jump shot right at the elbow, that's a skill shot. You really have to know how to shoot that shot or use the backboard. The skill to me is just diminished. I think you're better out there than you are at the 14-footer. You used to have to earn your way out there.
But that and there's no like personalities that you want to root for or root against anymore. Like the obvious one is when the Pistons and the Celtics had their rivalry, and Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird were talking smack the whole game.
Yeah.
And, all these players that say, Larry Bird's the greatest trash talker of all time. He would tell you where he was going, do exactly that, and then score on you. Jordan could do anything he wanted once he got in the paint until they started the Jordan rule where they just kept fouling, try to kill the guy when he comes in the lane. That was fun.
It was fun.
That was fun.
But I think also the media aspect of it, because Larry Bird never came on and told you any of the things. It was the people he played against.
Yeah.
They spoke for him. He never opened his mouth about what he did.
Those
guys were professional in front of the camera. I think our Gen Zers are not.
Okay.
I think they sound like spoiled children when they get in front of the microphone. Very few have that. And I think LeBron is probably one of the best because he's, a grown man, he's 40 years old. But he...
When you're wildly emotional... But when you're wildly emotional, you can't make really good comments because your brain's not properly working. In anything in life.
You got a guy like Ja Morant that... probably physical talent, just unbelievable. Guy can literally jump up and grab the rafters. This guy's game is insane, but yet he's still juvenile enough to go out there in these streets and to be flashing the guns and doing the things that he did, willing to risk the longevity of his career and the reputation of his career, because now there may be some teams that's like, he might be free, but he might be too big of a cancer for our locker room to deal with. Where I think that physically that kid could have been one of the greatest players that ever played the game. He looked like a young Grant Hill when he came in, the way Grant was before he suffered those injuries. He could jump, he could shoot, he could do everything. And except I think this kid was even faster than Grant, which made him even that much better. But now the reputation is going to stay with him forever, because now once you hit send on this thing here, that digital footprint doesn't go away.
If he was a pitcher, there was a saying in Bull Durham, I think, about him that says $1 million arm, 10-cent head.
Yeah.
Right? Hey. That's how you're describing him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because the decisions that he made just literally put his career in jeopardy. So, but again, so that's that uber talented guy. I think he's so uberly talented that it's like, man, it's unbelievable. But nobody talks about him no more because of what happened on here. Until he makes a crazy dunk and now he becomes number 1 on SportsCenter top 10. I don't even know if he's playing right now. That's how much I haven't heard of him. I don't even know. But again, you these are decisions that we make and all this other stuff. But again, look at the talent pool. I think he was one of the most talented, but I don't see guys as displayed talent. Let me put it like that. They may be talented to hit a 14-foot jumper, but because that's not what the NBA is calling for, or their teams are calling for, we don't see them do it. So when we need that as a last minute shot, it's a brick because they're not taking it enough during the game. They're more comfortable behind the arc.
Okay.
Still
unwatchable.
There it is.
Give me something good.
But I think it's because of that it becomes unwatchable. And we're not even going to talk about ticket prices to go down to the stadium.
And you're talking to a guy that grew up. That's all I wanted to watch was basketball. I went to Heat games because I grew up down here. I saw Jordan play. He roasted us, of course, because the Heat stunk back then. But that was my favorite. I watched every game. I watched the All-Star game, the dunk contest, all those three-point those legendary. Like, I was in basketball, probably until, I don't know, maybe after like Alonzo Mourning retired.
Wow.
Maybe.
Okay,
Because we still played defense when we had Zoe on the team, so like we had like Grant Long and other role players that were like, it was fun to watch, and it was team basketball.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, it's gone down exponentially every year of how much I like the NBA.
A slower decline, that's for sure. I can give you that. But you know what? I something just makes you want to hold on. But I tell you, I've been able to not watch NBA.
What if we make the NBA great again hats, and we sell and market those because we can play off the. What do you think? What do you think, Vince? I'm going off script here.
I love it.
We can make the we started like a non-profit or something. Make the NBA great again.
Because this garbage is just
get me Jordan's ghost,
right.
Larry Bird's ghost, Elijah Wan.
Dude, that's a great thing. I think it starts in the junior leagues. I think once we stop giving out participation awards, we stop letting these coaches.
We still do that? I thought we kicked those to the curb.
No. It's at an all-time high. Once we toughen up this younger generation, you can't even coach these kids hard now because again, they was just talking about it. Nick Saban was just talking about how they this new brand of kid ran him out the game between the NIL. The moment you say something tough to him, he's transferring. He's out of the game. Lynn Yap, what's the coach of the University of Miami basketball coach? They just was in the finals, and they was like, man, next year, coach, next year, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get this money out there. Man, you're gonna leave the squad. We got a chance to win this thing next year. Yeah, but such and such offering me this NIL deal. There's no, the love of the game ain't there. Now it's just the love of the money.
But they've been making that argument for 40 years.
Yeah, but now with this, it never affected college.
Maybe more, because my grandfather, who I watched a lot of football with.
It never affected college, though.
Okay.
Literally now, that entire squad put their name in the transfer portal right after they won or made it that far deep into the championship because now they're getting these offers. So you went from being a tremendous squad to literally busters in that much. So that guy was like, you know what? I've coached long enough. I've done my thing. I'm out. And they asked him, and he told them exactly why. Because this system, as much as every coach wants to see their players get paid, they got to figure out a better way to do it.
Well, wasn't it you that said, and maybe it was on the podcast even.
It was.
You said that the NIL made college football into the AAA,
100%.
like for baseball.
You are the pros.
Okay.
You are a professional. But the difference is now, at least in baseball, when you have that, you're still under contract. Now you're assigned to a series of pretty much a semester by semester contract. With these NIL deals, you don't have to, as long as you can get accepted in that school.
Have you heard about any decent, let's say, modifications that have been proposed to the NL? Like, are they actually actively trying to fix it, or are they making it worse like they normally do?
So supposedly there are groups out there because they're watching legendary coaches walk away.
Yeah.
They watch head coaches in the NFL, head coaches from college walk away to go take assistant and position coaches at the professional level because they couldn't deal with this stuff. So, yes, from my understanding, they're trying to modify it where they can try to bring this, reel in these wild horses that's just running around out there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they got to find that fine line because, again, you got this guy Beck that left Georgia, came down to UM, signed for $4 million. And, dude, you was just going for a national championship last year. But, yeah, y'all not going to give me 4. So I'm going to go down here. Plus, my girlfriend goes down here. She's already making a killing. She's like one of the highest people in college sports.
Oh, this is not a hypothetical situation. Oh, no, it's real. Gotcha. All right.
It's real. Her and her twin sister, I believe, are the highest paid.
Oh, they're basketball players, right?
They're basketball players, and
they're twins. They're twin sisters,
I don't think
right?
it's OnlyFans, but they're very popular on the internet. And they make a ton of money. I believe it is OnlyFans. I don't think it's that kind of OnlyFans.
Please do not sue Vince because he's just guessing. He doesn't know.
I said I believe, but I know that they're very famous. They made a lot of money.
Cavender. Isn't their name Cavender?
Yes.
I've seen.
They make a lot of money on the internet, and
they did like goofy dances on TikTok and got viral or whatever, right? Yeah.
They're cute. And they just, come on. And there's 2 of them. Come on, man. It's like, come on.
There's cute and
there's 2 of them. The fantasies run crazy. So, but now the boyfriend decides, I'm coming down here, sunny South Florida. They're going to pay me a cool $4 million. I'm going to go play. Now, the Georgia team, man, they was right there. Nah, I ain't going to stay there. I'm going to go down here and come on. It's just ridiculous. There's no, and again, as I think I said in the last show, what team do you say when you finish playing college sports? Who's your team? What homecoming do you go back to? Who do you say then that's my school? They're all those my schools. I went to 4 schools in 5 years. Well, now
I guess you get to root for 4 teams that way. Yeah, so you're hedging your bets.
I don't know, man. It's a pretty sick, twisted world, but I hope by the time my Pips get old enough, man, that they got this thing figured out and worked out because they're going to be ready to play something.
Look, if they don't uncluster it, we could just go play golf every Saturday and Sunday and blow them off.
Well, Screw them. They're going to have golf clubs in their hand, too, so that might...
No, I'm saying, but if they don't...
But I need them to get that NIL money, man. Pop want to relax a little bit, so I don't want to have to be worried about that. So these girls are going to be something. Either that or they're going to be a singer. We're going to do something, man. We got to have something along with the academics.
He's going to have 2 engineers come out of this deal, super genius NASA rocket builders or something.
I eventually want them to write the team checks. If
NASA's even still around by then.
As opposed to receive the team checks. That's the ultimate goal for one of them, if not all 3.
The goal would be to own the team and write the checks. That's what I just said. Yeah.
For them to write the team's checks.
Own the team
versus
and write
receiving
the checks.
The team's checks.
I like it.
Now I will say this, because it was that's when it eye-opened in my life. My oldest daughter was a very high-level junior tennis player, and was receiving a lot of attention and was playing with one of the most high-profile coaches, and she was doing well and receiving all of that kudos. Until, well, not even until, but there was one father who got a little hair up his butt, and he was really being who he is because he had a lot of money. He had a lot of money, tons. But they were talking about how well my daughter had did at this tournament. I think she played she was 9 playing in the 12s, which was pretty significant at that point, and won a championship. And that guy said in front of a group of people that was over there saying that, he was like, yeah, my daughter will be writing her the championship checks that she'll be receiving. Now, I wanted to punch him in his mouth just because, you're just being mad disrespectful. This is her time right now. She did good. She's 9 years old. But the businessman in me said, damn it, he's right, because he owned a bunch of fast food restaurants. I'm not gonna name the name because that would really give it all away to those that know. He owned a bunch of fast food restaurants, and one of those fast food restaurants has at one point in time sponsored tennis tournaments. So I was like, he's right. But so it helped me to try to transform my kids and now grandkids coming up mentality of, hey, it's okay to receive a team check, but let's all think about how we can also be the ones that write the team checks. So we may have to do different skill sets and all these other situations, or utilize those skill sets to become an owner, whatever the case may be. But we got to start thinking about how to own and control, so people like that gentleman.
And then you could buy politicians, and then you could write the policies.
Those are byproducts.
No, so let me ask you though, would you rather the G-Pips grow up and own a sports team, or would you rather them grow up and own a couple gyms and storage facilities that are way less stressful and they just count their money?
Sports teams.
Why?
Because the stream of income is insane. You get the parking, you get the concessions. Listen, all of these teams that's proclaiming broke because they're paying these players so much money, they're all making money hands over fist. Believe me, if these uber wealthy people were not making a killing, not one of them would own the team. Not one of these losers would continue to own the team. It's money to be made in sports ownership in so many different areas. Don't forget, you own their contracts. What they get, everything that's going on there. Every jersey you sell in there, come on, man, it's insane.
Maybe I'm just more of a fly under the radar person then, because I would much rather own 30 gyms and 50 storage facilities and just collect the money and play golf all the time than have all of the other stuff that goes along. And maybe I don't know what I don't know, but it just, from my lending background, looking at different businesses and how they work, I would rather do that than try to own the Dallas Cowboys or the Dolphins.
The reason you're saying that, because some of those owners that want to be in front of the camera.
I'm already in front of the camera. I'm here with you.
They have ruined it for the other owners of these teams that you never even know their names. You know about 4 names of ownership groups in the NFL that you can just spit out because they're staying in front of the camera. The other owners, you don't even hear from them. They're just back there enjoying their money the same way you would if you had storage facilities and gyms. It's just what it is that interests you. Do you, because, hey, look, I would love to own gyms. I love to go to the gym and do that. I know the money of storage and all that. But believe me, they got that too in their portfolio. But owning a team of a game that you love to be a part of and play and watch and you can help build, there's nothing like it. I would absolutely prefer, if I had my choice, for them to own that, because I would want to be there, they would want to be there, and it is a game about moving those chess pieces around the draft day, what general manager you're going to hire, because you want to win, hopefully. But if your team doesn't win, you know that you're going to make money. The money's there. Even when you quote unquote lose money on paper, you're making money hand over fist. Because again, not one of those owners have taken a real loss. They've taken a tax loss, but they ain't took a real loss, because now you got revenue sharing, you got TV revenue, you got all this stuff that they got to share. They're going to make sure it's a group. Remember, they up here. They let us fight amongst each other.
If you guys want to sponsor this podcast and help Vince realize his dream of owning a pro sports team, hit us up.
That's it, man. I was about to say I'd be a general manager, but I don't know about that one, man. That general manager job is tough.
Sounds stressful.
It is very stressful. I would be a general manager's assistant. Call me.
All right, let's get out of here.
What's the t-shirt, man? Tell me what you got on here, man.
That just says, be nice. I cook your food. It's a good message for anybody eating at my house, I guess.
At your house or even that restaurant there, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, my daughter's gotten a little uppity now that she just turned 10, so maybe she needs to read the shirt sometimes. That's all, Be nice. I'm making your food, babe.
That's it. Or be nice, or you make your own food.
And you know what? She don't have to be nice to make her own food. She could just do it.
Make
She
it
knows
up.
how to make spaghetti. Go for it.
There it is.
Go for it.
You're gonna put all the carbs up in you like that every day, but that's okay. We're gonna go with a whole nother subject.
Well, next time we're gonna do some research and we're gonna
Yes.
talk. We got to get back into you hit on chemotherapy, so we got to talk about that.
bring it back
So
when I get some numbers.
I'll have some interesting info on my side for that too.
But in the meanwhile, make sure you follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, and definitely follow and leave the comments on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all of the areas in which we are. Even X, I hate it, but I'm there. I swear. I make sure we get our information out on X too. But wherever you find us, send it to somebody else. Leave a comment. Tell us what you want to see in here.
Sounds good. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.